good. I got it. We're good. Thank you. Put me on P2 too. Thank you. Just brighten it. I want it on 2. Get up. I need you to do 3 things right now, Amplified. I need you to wake up, get up, and get fucking amplified. It ain't that fucking difficult. Get up. Get amplified. Hit that shit. I got a fresh coffee brewing, man. Espresso from Dunkin'. We're gonna get super amplified. You damn straight. Hit that motherfucking like on the way in. Hit that shit. Smash it. Give it a sharpshooter. Give it a Batista bomb. Give it a Canadian destroyer. I don't give a fuck. A Charlotte moonsault. No, don't do that. That'll miss. Cut my music, Sasha. Cut my motherfucking music. No, don't re-jump it. Cut it. All right, re-jump it. No, I'm just kidding. Don't re-jump it. Don't. Okay. She did not. She gonna start that shit again. Cut that shit now, man. Come on, Sash. We got a lot to talk about here, man. A lot of people up in the chat. We got a lot to talk about right now. CM Punk stripped, suspensions, releases. What the fuck is going on? Cut that shit. I'm serious. Fucking A, bro. What up, everybody? Sasha's got fucking jokes. What's going on? What's up, everybody? How you doing, huh? How you doing? We're gonna piss some people off today. We're gonna make them cry just a little bit, right? We're gonna what are we gonna do? We're gonna drink a lot of coffee. We're gonna tell a lot of truth, drop a lot of facts, smack some bitch boy Bradens upside their dome piece. Make them talk, baby. Make them talk. That's what we're gonna do. Salute, everybody. Espresso. Do this shit the right way. Let me put a creamer up in here. We got a lot to talk about. I can't even fathom what is happening over in AEW, bro. Look at that shit. Come on, dog. Come on, man. Come on, man. Look at that shit. That's a beautiful texture. Yo, man. I got some tried and trues up in here. We're going to talk about it, man. I can't even comprehend the last 24 hours in AEW. Nobody knew if this was a work or a shoot. You know what I mean? Because in pro wrestling, everything's a fucking work, right? I mean, even when somebody passes away, you got to think it's a work. But it's pretty clear over the last 24 hours, this is as real as it gets. That's as much of a shoot as possible, man. Everything that we have been hearing is not a work. Now, we hope that they can put on their fucking big boy pants, do some grown-up business when everybody comes back from suspension. We hope that everybody will turn this into a full-fledged work. We hope. I mean, you know, everyone thought the MJF shit was a work, and he screwed over Wardlow. But then MJF comes back. Wardlow's in the building. He's pissed off. He doesn't cross paths with MJF at all. So it was never a work. MJF and Tony Khan was a real-life thing. It turned into something huge. Turmoil with one of Tony Khan's brightest stars. He didn't feel he was getting the pay that he deserved. He signed a contract, but what happened was he became one of the biggest stars in the world of wrestling, and Tony didn't want to give him extra money, not yet, not until 2024. And then they were able to do business, and it doesn't look like it's turning into a work, but he's back to work. But that shows you that the MJF shit was never a work, bro. The Cody Rhodes thing, everybody thought that was a work, right? Cody's not. He's an EVP, bro. He's one of the top stars in the company. He's a fucking EVP, Executive Vice President. He's not just going to go to WWE. Well, everybody shut the fuck up. And what happens? He goes to WWE, becomes one of the biggest stars in the company, way bigger than Stardust ever was, gets injured, and when he comes back, he's probably going to be, most likely going to be the one to dethrone Roman Reigns and capture that championship. I mean, how fucking diesel is that? But Cody Rhodes was not a storyline. And now we all thought, a lot of us thought that this was a storyline. And now we hear suspensions, fucking titles being taken off, motherfuckers. Not just Punk because he was injured. Even the trios fucking titles that were just won on Sunday, those have been fucking stripped off. And what are you going to tell me? It's a work to get to FTR and Punk versus Elite? Wow, man. Thank goodness they're making the company look like amateurs are running. Like amateur hour. Make it look like a bunch of fucking M&Ms. The ones that talk and they have little fucking arms, the M&Ms are fucking running AEW because that's what you're making it look like. Perception is reality. The inmates are running the asylum. The perception of AEW for weeks has been absolutely in the fucking dumpster, just waiting to be lit on fire to become a legit dumpster fire because that's been AEW. We know because WWE has been that way for 10 fucking years. So now we find out that this has not been a fucking work. This was a shoot. This was as real as possible, and the details are fucking mind-bogglingly numbing. And we're going to go over that in just a minute. I need to get over a couple of things first. This will only take a couple of minutes to get through all three of these fast, quick hits. Number one, what are you guys thinking for the Dynamite rating? I don't know if that comes out later today or because of Labor Day here in the States. Is that pushed back a day? Maybe we have to wait 24 hours to get the rating. I'm not sure. But are you guys thinking it cracks 1.2? I doubt very much it had enough steam to pull 1.3. I mean, Punk versus Mox on live free TV only pulled less than 1,050,000. I think that was 1,049,000. I don't think this tops 1.3. They would have at least have gotten 1.2 for this show, right? I mean, all the attention was on this show. Clash at the Castle, when was that? Who competed on that? Nobody even fucking remembers. It's an afterthought because of all the turmoil in AEW. Sometimes negative publicity will bring everybody to the yard, right? Sometimes controversy just creates cash. Sometimes that crash on the sideway of the side of that highway, man, sometimes that brings all of the fucking attention. It bottlenecks the other side of the highway and everybody starts rubbernecking. It brings all the attention. I mean, this was, if you ask BC, this was one of the most highly anticipated Dynamites since its inception. I mean, there was more anticipation, I feel, for this than Mox Punk a couple of weeks ago. So that's what tells me it should go over 1.1. Does it pull a 1.2? We'll see. And that'll be the first time, I believe, ever. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe when it first started 3 years ago, but I think this would be the first time it ever gets 1 million plus in the ratings. 1,049,000 2 weeks ago. Last week, just over 1 million, just a few thousand over. And then this week, if they're able to go over 1 million, that would be 3 weeks in a row. Tony Khan, even though he's literally staring Turmoil in the face, he can just turn a little bit and see light at the end of the tunnel. Well, shit, people are watching my product. And you know what's better for Tony? And some of you guys may not want to hear this. And even though Tony Khan and I don't see eye to eye on everything, how we should be covering AEW, what I will say is that last night's show was probably one of their best since its inception. As far as a full, top-to-bottom, complete show with a different variety of everything. And now, yes, I haven't watched in full the last several weeks, so I can't comment on those, maybe the last couple of months up front, but I've seen enough of those shows to say that. Last night was actually a complete show. So you add that with the interest, they got to be talking about a 1-2, man. I would think. So it's interesting to see what you guys feel about it. Thank you for those ups, man. I didn't even check that. I'm at over 200 on the ups already. I appreciate that. Let's whoop some ass, and let's take that to 300 plus. You guys rock. Something else I want to talk about before I get into this whole CM Punk altercation, suspension, injury, title being stripped, all of that. Malakai Black. The latest that we're getting is that there was a conditional release. So he's released from AEW. And everybody wants to focus on this conditional part. Oh, they're going to give him time. He can't compete anywhere else. And it's almost like a handshake deal where he talks to Tony before he makes a decision. I don't know what the fuck the rules are to this conditional release. It's simple with Malakai Black. You give this dude the rocket, or you just let him free. because Malakai Black is too fucking good. His creativity is top notch, second to maybe nobody other than Bray Wyatt, Wyndham Rotunda. His athletic ability, his wrestling skill level, from catch can to even off the fucking top rope, he'll do it. And he'll make it pristine. The guy can do whatever you ask of him. I don't know how he was booked so miserably in WWE, other than the old bastard in Stanford didn't want to give him that opportunity. And then he went to AEW, and Tony Khan, the best he saw for him was a faction and roll-ups by Alex Reynolds. I mean, this, you never want to see anybody get injured, but if there was a time to take a breather for Malakai, this is it, bro. This is absolutely it. So he's been released, but it sounds to me like he's going to talk to Tony Khan if he decides to sign somewhere else. So then Tony might just offer him more money. I don't know. Either way, this is a smart move by Malakai Black, because if he wants to go over to WWE, I don't know, where his wife is, Zelina Vega. Maybe he wants to be with his wife. Maybe he wants to work for Triple H, Paul Levesque. Paul Levesque always was high on Aleister Black. Paul Levesque is probably seething at the teeth to try to get Aleister Black back. You know there's a middle man there, a middle woman in his wife Zelina that wants to work with her husband again. You know she's hearing positive things about Paul Levesque, and you gotta believe that everything has just weighed down Malakai so much that now he's like, maybe the grass is greener on the other side finally. Maybe they fertilized that shit. Maybe they finally mowed that lawn. Maybe they mowed that grass. Maybe they fucking set the sprinklers out and that grass got watered. You gotta believe he wants that change. And I wouldn't doubt that he's already made up his mind and he wants to go over the World Wrestling Entertainment. But for now, conditional, unconditional, inspirational, motivational, whatever the word they want to add in front of that release, he's been released. He has his time away from pro wrestling to recollect, regroup, get back any fucking nagging injuries, and we hope the best for Malakai. That could have been the end of Malakai in AEW. Don't be shocked if you end up seeing Aleister Black working for Paul Levesque in the near future. The next thing I wanted to talk about before I get into this whole CM Punk backstage brawl shit, and I know I got some super chats, guys. Much love to you guys. I'm going to get to you guys in just a little bit, I assure you. I see you guys, man, lit up in those fucking colors, dude. I got you, my super chats, my VIPs, my amplified power bombers. I'll get to you guys in just a minute. But I got to show some love to Mox, because this was another kick-ass promo by Mox last night. And I mean this with every amplified fiber in my being. Before I say what I'm about to say, let me give you guys a proper salute with this espresso Dunkin' Donut coffee. Salute to every single one of my amplified unit up in here, man. The hundreds now live. I know we're in the middle of the day on a Thursday, but the thousands that are going to catch this over the next 24 hours as well, even if you weren't able to catch it live. Salute to all you guys. Fuck yeah, brother. What I'm about to say, I mean this with every amplified fiber in my being, man. Mox should have never lost that title Sunday night. I don't care if it's Chicago. I don't care if it's the British Bulldog, Wembley Stadium. Mox has been fucking on a level of momentum that I have not seen in pro wrestling in a very long time. Mox has been doing everything, even if you're not a fan, even if he bores you, I understand. He has been fucking on a level of confidence and an absolute momentum that we do not see in pro wrestling ever. His promos have just been top notch, utter confidence, no fucking stuttering in the fucking moment, as real as can be. His talent level, his wrestling has been hitting all cylinders. I mean, this Mox makes Dean Ambrose from WWE look like a fucking schmuck, a fucking amateur on his first year of training in wrestling. And Dean Ambrose was damn good. But Mox has been putting together unparalleled skill level and talent on every fucking facet. Every box checked off for Mox. And Tony just looked at the situation and said, it's Chicago. I'm going to give it to Punk. Even though we know wrestling-wise, right now, CM Punk cannot light a fucking candle to Mox. Promo-wise, I don't know what happened to Mr. Pipe Bomb, but Punk cannot light a candle to the promos that Mox has been fucking delivering. Momentum, character, confidence. Mox is absolutely deleting CM Punk. And they took the title off of him when he was at his peak. Now, I don't know what the fuck they do with Mox next. Does Mox win this fucking championship now from the tournament? So every fucking time CM Punk can't be there with his title, Mox is only good to play second fiddle? Mox is only second best? Mox is the B player we call up every time Punk can't make it to the dance? Mox deserves better than that. And Mox is worth a hell of a lot more than what I witnessed. Doing the deed after he just squashes Punk a couple weeks ago. Then he gets beat by Punk. The match is a lot more fucking close now. What the fuck happened to the Mox 2 weeks? I don't know if that made Mox look any fucking better. Most likely even worse. The promo last night in the face of MJF made it look a lot better, obviously. Saved him a little bit. Never. I don't care if it's Chicago. I don't care if it's CM Punk. Never would I have taken that fucking title off of Mox, or I would have made him the undisputed fucking champion. Because you already knew about the drama with Punk, too. Tony Khan already knew about it, and he got owned by Punk. He let the inmate in that asylum, he let him run that shit. And you saw what happens when you let people like that run shit. They'll never be satisfied. If you, the boss, basically allows them to be the boss, they will never be satisfied. They will start walking over you. Then they'll start stomping over you. Then they will start trampling over you. Until finally you have a situation that arose on Sunday night, where the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Pat Buck, Ace Steel, Christopher Daniels, CM Punk, and others were suspended from the company after a backstage locker room brawl. Real life, shoot. No more is it'll work, right? We can literally pass that on. We already know now for sure. You're not stripping fucking titles like even the trios, even if Punk's injured. You're not doing that shit. And I think that's what angered Punk even more. We're hearing that he is legit injured, possibly going to need surgery 6 to 9 months up front, which means you're not seeing this guy deep into 2023. He probably knew that. He knew everybody was going to be talking about his health and if he can even hack it anymore in pro wrestling. And he basically, I bet you he took it to another fucking level in that presser. Not trying to get suspended, but maybe giving himself an out. I think he knew he was fucked. But that injury was just the fucking start of it. He fucking proceeded to rip apart that locker room. What Punk did on Sunday night is, unfortunately, he overshadowed my boy's return, MJF. MJF did not deserve that. A lot of people are saying MJF kind of did that to Wardlow. In a way. But not to this fucking degree. Nothing that Wardlow couldn't come back from. That was Wardlow's biggest night, but all Tony Khan had to do from that point on is book Wardlow as strong as he had been. What does Tony Khan do? Tony Khan basically makes Wardlow non-existent. Few Rampage matches, all out, he's in a 6-man tag, not even the trios tournament. 6-man tag, that's your fucking TNT champion, nobody would know that. He booked Wardlow like a fucking schmuck, to the point where last night, Wardlow, in his promo, Wardlow had to address what we were all talking about, what BC and all of you guys were doing, a lot of you guys. He actually said it. He said, I read what everyone's writing on the internet. I hear what everyone's saying on the internet. And I want you to know that I'm back. And I'm going to be better than ever. And I'm like, good. That's what we want to hear, man. You were the hottest shit there with MJF during that feud. And then what the fuck happened? The MJF controversy happened and Tony Khan basically kicked you to the curb. He put a title on you. and then made you non-existent. That's some Vince McMahon shit. That's what he did to Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura, Asuka. And it seems like that's what Tony Khan does. He puts a title on Thunder Rosa. You don't hear about Thunder Rosa anymore. She's not relevant. He puts a title on Wardlow. You don't hear about her anymore. Irrelevant. FTR, bro. They can't even go for the AEW tag titles. They're making fun of that every week. They're like, wait, we're number one in the rankings every fucking day. We can't even go for the fucking titles. The way FTR was one of the hottest acts in pro wrestling. Think about that. A tag team act. One of the hottest acts after matches what they had with like the Briscoe brothers. And Tony Khan doesn't use that momentum. Tony Khan has a problem with momentum. He can get it, which is unheard of. Orange Cassidy at one point had all this momentum. Even Jungle Boy, Wardlow, FTR, MJF. And then he doesn't know how to book afterwards. And then he just collapses it and he goes to the new toy of the week. And whether it's a Wheeler Yuta, a Dan Garcia, it doesn't matter. And then all of a sudden the top fucking stars that had momentum, where the fuck are they? You gotta go searching for them. Sometimes they're on Friday Night Rampage at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Sometimes they're not even fucking used. Now, you may not like what I'm saying. I understand, because this is harsh criticism. But, I mean, these are fact bombs. These are truth bombs. You guys know that. Much love to Tony Khan. I mean, he's such a passionate guy who's really trying to give us the best product. I do believe that. So I just hope he understands that when somebody has momentum, bro, stop everything else and book for them first. And then you go down the line. But if you're booking people with momentum, you're going to create a superstar. And in the process, hopefully, if you're doing it correctly, a larger-than-life star. We don't know if Wardlow has that ability to become larger than life, but at least give him a chance. Let him try to become such. So, this is where we're at with these. I mean, he's just, CM Punk Sunday night is just ripping these motherfuckers apart. And Tony Khan is just letting him do that at that press conference, at the media scrum, which is not even media, by the way. It's just kids with cameras. Right? It's all the little Denise Salcedos that are just setting, and that's no shade, man. She's a firecracker. I say that all the time. But she's one of the few ones that I know that go to these things. You know, she sets her little camera up and they ask these little questions like it's Sports Center or it's fucking after the 98 NBA Finals and Michael Jordan just hit the game winner over the Utah Jazz. How did it feel when you hit that game winner and now you have your fucking a new championship? I mean, this is scripted, predetermined pro wrestling. I mean, do we really need to do this? And now it's getting to the point where the damage is far exceeding the benefits from these press conferences, these media scrums. But, I mean, these are kids with cameras asking questions. You know, people that call themselves journalists. YouTubers, podcasters. I mean, come on, man. Is this really media? And if this is media, I gotta agree with something CM Punk said. Do you honestly call yourself journalists? And everybody's probably looking at each other like, I labeled myself a journalist. I have a camera and Tony let me in the building. You know, I don't know how we have come to the place where this is media. But no matter what, for CM Punk to do what he did Sunday night, and Tony Khan, you feel bad for Tony. Did you guys see that shit? Tony Khan the whole fucking time, his face is just like he just wants he wants the press conference, the media scrum, to really make the all-out event seem like it was special. And now get that shit up there, man. Promote that shit. That's BC's Amplified t-shirt, bro. He wants it to be like a fucking extension of All Out. The problem is it doesn't become that, man. We start finding nuggets of other conversation. And before you know it, All Out is a fucking afterthought. The pay-per-view is an afterthought. But Tony Khan, his whole face there is, he's like, in his mind, he is thinking the faster we get this over with, the better. And Punk just kept fucking yapping, bro. So to Tony Khan's credit, but Tony Khan never stopped him. Tony Khan probably didn't know how to stop him, and that's why we say the inmate was running the asylum. Tony Khan was being owned by Punk, and Punk knows that, bro. From day one, this is not shade to Tony Khan, but he fanboyed out over CM Punk. He just did. You saw that. I mean, he hugs people like that anyway, but that hug to CM Punk was extra special, extra long. He loves himself some CM Punk. Punk knew that. Punk is smart enough to know who he can walk on and even walk over. And he knew from that day on, Tony Khan is in the palms of his fucking hands, bro. And CM Punk knew when he sat down and Khan was next to him that CM Punk was going to own that shit. And he proceeded to rip apart that fucking locker room. EVPs, whether he calls them his bosses or not, he's got to treat them with some respect. They got to that position because they busted their asses in Japan, got the fucking notice of Khan, and then you don't want to fucking stay up. All right, well, you know what? We'll fucking promote it like that anyway, brother. Amplify, coffee, big biceps, and ass whoopings. Get your coffee, whoop some fucking ass, check you later. There you go. I promoted the shit. Now, Teespring. Get that shit, man. Hot off the press. Now, what happened when you do that to the EVPs, you're absolutely shitting on their position, right? Everyone else is supposed to believe that they're EVPs. They got Tony's attention. They helped start AEW. I totally understand with those people that say they should never be in that role. They're fucking tools. I hear you. I'm not in that debate right now. Whether you love the Young Bucks, whether you love Kenny Omega, I hear you. It's eye of the beholder. The point is, that's how the company started. They did form EVPs and they helped jumpstart the company. So, some respect, maybe. Punk walked in there, saw that he could control Khan. This is what happened, man. This is psychological fucking warfare. I'm teaching you guys. He saw that he could own Tony Khan, the top guy. Now, all Punk needs to do is make sure that he has the EVPs in the palm of his hand. And then Punk is running that whole fucking thing. What happened was the EVPs, they didn't fall for Punk's shit or trap. So now the EVPs are on one side, Punk is over on this side, and now you created friction. So now Punk is just hoping that he can keep Tony Khan in the palm of his hands. Now Khan is playing the middle guy, and he doesn't know what to do, and the inmates ran the asylum. That's how we got to this point, guys. I'm telling you guys, 101 textbook, what happened. This happens in many scenarios in life. This isn't just in the wrestling locker room. This is how people like Punk think. I got Tony Khan, I need to get the EVPs, and then I run the whole company. The EVPs were not going to bite. The EVPs did not have the same respect for Punk that a lot of people did, and Punk didn't have the respect for the EVPs, and here we fucking go. And he talked a lot of shit. A lot of shit. And what do you expect is going to happen when you speak that fucking shit, saying that the EVPs are a bunch of irresponsible people that couldn't even manage a target? He calls the talent like Hangman Page, who was a former champion and beloved by many, overall a good dude. He called him a fucking empty-headed dumb fuck. That's a quote. Hangman Page, an empty-headed dumb fuck. And Page has never responded. Not personally, not on fucking TV. So anyone that thought that was a work, nope. Hangman was right back in action last night like none of this Punk shit happened, man. This was never a work. It would just make Page look like a fucking idiot. You got shit on, never responded, and acted like business as usual? What the fuck? I ain't cowboy shit. No, this was very real. He made the most of the presser about Colt Cabana, who I believe isn't even with AEW anymore, which stemmed all this shit. That this was a catalyst of that. Colt Cabana being put out, and the Bucks and Omega saying it was because of Punk, supposedly. And Tony Khan is like, fuck, man, the first 10 minutes of this presser is all about Colt Cabana? CM Punk talked a lot of shit. What do you expect is going to happen afterwards, bro? I don't know what fucking neighborhood you guys grew up in, what state, what fucking city. I don't fucking know. I don't give a fuck. But where I grew up, you fucking talk that type of shit, people are going to want the fucking receipt, and we're going to bang out. We're going to have a lot of fun. Hopefully there's no Larrys involved, no fucking wives, and it's just the boys banging out. But I don't know what Punk thought was going to happen. And again, maybe he was hoping something like that was going to happen, and that's why he had Ace Steel in the locker room. We saw Ace Steel last week on Dynamite. We didn't think that they were just together 24/7. What the fuck is Ace Steel in Punk's locker room for with Larry? As Punk is ready to fucking take his shower and get dressed. Why would Ace Steel be there unless Punk knew shit was going to go down and he needed Ace Steel there? That's the only conclusion I can come up with. So before I get into the fucking suspensions, the stripping of the titles, all of that shit, let me go over. Let me listen to these fucking details, guys. I can't make this shit up. I really want you guys to hear these details because this is fucking, hold on. I might have, okay, let me just give an update on Punk's injury first before I go over these fucking insane details. Punk suffered a tricep injury in the match against Mox at All Out. Looks like he may have already undergone surgery, guys. That's the latest detail. This just came out. I don't know if that's Melty Boy or not who's reporting that, but he might have already undergone surgery. He knew he was going to be suspended for a while anyway, but the injury is going to take precedent. That's going to take 6 to 9 months at least. And it could take up to a full year if it's a tricep injury. So, either way, he's going to undergo surgery if he hasn't already within the next 48 hours. It is confirmed it was a torn tricep. Wow, so Punk is just falling apart even before the backstage turmoil. Punk can't even leap into the crowd without breaking his foot. He's trying to do a wrestling move. He tears his fucking tricep off. Punk is breaking down. And he's going to have to question when he gets as healthy as possible, should he be doing this wrestling thing anymore? It doesn't seem like he's fucking happy, bro. It doesn't seem like he loves pro wrestling. He tried to put on his game face when he came back. I'm not seeing it. He's falling apart with the backstage turmoil, what people are talking about. He can't be having a good time. So we're looking at 6 to 9 months up front. Possibly a year, guys. That is the latest word that we just got. Okay. We got another new report of Omega possibly getting bitten backstage. Well, I'm going to get to that. You know what? Let me give you the full fucking report. You guys ready for this? Fuck that. I'm not even going to... I'm not even going to fucking wait. Listen to this shit. Let me get these fucking, come on. All right, hold on. These details are fucking nuts, bro. Apparently, Omega, I'm going to get it in full. Omega was fucking bitten, guys. Not by Larry the Dog. Not by Larry the Dog, but from fucking Ace Steel. All right, hold on. All right, so what happened here is that Punk was backstage in his locker room. He was with Ace Steel, apparently Steel's wife, and Larry the Dog, CM Punk's dog. The Young Bucks knocked on the door. Or came through the door. The latest report we're getting is they did not barrel through the door, which was the original report. They come through the door either way. Maybe it's one of those knocks open thing, like knock, knock, we're coming in. They open the door. Omega's with them. Other people with them. All right, so they came with a fucking posse. All right, apparently Punk only had Ace Steel, but he did have that one guy. Maybe that's Punk's only friend backstage. Who the fuck knows? They come in. The latest report is that Punk started throwing bows first. It was Punk that started throwing bows first, and Omega went to get Larry the Dog. So props to Larry the Dog, man. Or Omega for backing up Larry the Dog, man. Because we don't want Larry getting fucked up, man. So... I want to see which Jackson he actually punched. Hold on. I want to see which Jackson he went for first, man. If you guys don't mind. Okay, the Young Bucks went to talk to CM Punk, just like Punk said at the media scrum. The Bucks opened the door, did not kick it in as claimed. It was stated that Matt Jackson couldn't even say anything before Punk threw sucker punches. This is a report, guys. This is Fightful. I think that's Sean Ross. He's backing this up from what he heard as well. So he's throwing fucking bows in. before Matt Jackson can even say anything, Punk is sucker punching Matt Jackson first. It was Matt first, not Nick. Some people are saying Nick. That is not true. It was Matt Jackson first. I wanna get the details as fine-tuned as possible. It was Matt Jackson first. Nick tried to intervene afterwards. It was only after Matt Jackson started getting sucker punches. Nick Jackson tried to fucking intervene, probably tried to fucking shove Punk into lockers. Maybe he was throwing bows back. This is where apparently Ace Steel, this is wild, guys. Listen to this shit. I mean, this is what I mean by absolute insanity. These details are fucking pathetic and just like preposterous. You wouldn't believe some of this shit. Ace Steel throws a steel chair that hit Nick Jackson in the eye. So Ace Steel throws the chair. Kenny Omega at this point is trying to remove Larry the dog because Larry was barking and quote-unquote going nuts. Larry the dog sees his fucking father fighting. That's what dogs do. Dogs are going to go fucking wild, bro. I mean, I don't know about you guys, man. I got shepherds and shit. They're going to flip the fuck out. You come anywhere in the vicinity of the fucking owner, you're getting bit to fucking smithereens. Now, Larry's a little fucking, a little choo-choo dog. You know what I mean? One of those little yappers. But I'm sure he flipped the fuck out. Omega's trying to get Larry out of the way. So props to Kenny for knowing that Larry is about to get trampled on. Let's save the dog. And then the Bucks and Omega claimed that once Omega handed the dog off, he then tried to get Steel off of Nick Jackson. So at this point, Ace Steel hits Nick Jackson in the eye with a chair and then jumps on him, throwing bows. Omega now tries to get Steel off of Jackson. Steel bites, not Larry the dog. Steel bites and then pulls Omega's hair. Now, maybe it's a bunch of people on one. We're hearing what? Nakazawa was in on this. Brandon Cutler, my boy Christopher Daniels. Who knows how many people might have been on Steel and Punk. And Steel felt the only way to get off was to Mike Tyson that bitch, bite him, and then pull his fucking hair. I don't know. But Steel is who bit and pulled Omega's hair. Both sides are reporting that after everyone was able to be separated, another several minutes of shouting and trying to get at one another transpired. Legal threats were made by Punk. So Punk took it legally after that. He's saying he's going to sue the EVPs maybe. Maybe he sees easy money in AEW. That's an easy lawsuit for CM Punk. But apparently Punk is screaming about legal threats. I don't know. He was in a legal battle with WWE. I don't think Punk wants a legal battle with AEW now. This could turn even uglier, guys, if what we're hearing is true. And then it took many more minutes. So it went nearly 7 minutes in total, which I believe is more than CM Punk's fucking UFC fights. So maybe that's a silver lining here. But it went nearly 7 minutes. And finally, security showed up. That probably was one of the motherfuckers who ran from the media scrum. People were able to get everybody out. Punk was so furious that he started shouting out of the door. And they were able to pull Punk back into the locker room. And that's where the report ends. I don't even... How do you fucking fathom this? Like, this actually happened in 2022. Now... In pro wrestling especially, man, when people got fucking beef, when there's issues, when there's tension, you get backstage altercations and fights. You do not see your world heavyweight champion this pissed off in the company. You do not see your executive vice presidents act this way. I mean, they were pretty much easily called out by Punk and pushed to the point where they had to do something. So you respect the fact that the Bucks and Omega stepped up to Punk. They should have probably done it on their own, but they probably wanted more eyeballs just in case something really bad happened. They could save face. But if they went in there that deep with that many people into Punk's locker room, you know, how do you think Punk is going to react? He's going to think you're coming to fucking just brawl with him anyway. So Punk's going to try to get the first shots. But Punk started it with the media scrum. But then people can say people started it first with Punk by leaking the information weeks ago. I don't even fucking know. This is what we mean about the inmates running the asylum in absolute turmoil. This is what we're talking about. For it to get to this fucking point, that last night Tony Khan started the show off by saying CM Punk. No, he didn't even mention Punk, bro. That's how pissed this dude is. Pissed off he is at Punk. He said the AEW World Championship is vacated and the trios titles vacated, bro. So Punk suspended. The Young Bucks and Omega suspended. Your EVPs. Those are your fucking bosses, man. They've just been suspended from the company. All of Tony Khan's EVPs are now out of the company. Cody Rhodes is working for WWE, one of their biggest stars. He's going to eventually dethrone Roman Reigns for the title. And then your other 3 EVPs that you started the company with, you just had to suspend them. He has no EVPs left. Tony Khan has nobody but himself now. And you know what? That was one of the best shows that AEW put on last night. Go fucking figure. I don't know what Dan Garcia is doing in the main event. I don't give a fuck if it's his hometown, his home city, his home state, his home country, his home continent, his home planet, his home stratosphere. I don't know what Dan Garcia is in the main event with Utah, but you know what? It was still one of the most well-rounded AEW Dynamites I've ever seen. So maybe Khan needs less EVPs and more help creatively. How about instead of executive vice presidents, you hire some creative people that can help you? Because there's no reason we shouldn't be getting shows like that. Was there a lot of problems and holes in last night's show? Absolutely. I can't talk about it because Tony Khan doesn't want me to. I'm too harsh. I'm too critical. He's obviously never seen one of my WWE reviews in the last 5 years. Because I'll show you harsh. But it was one of the most well-rounded without this shit. It's almost like Tony Khan stepped up his fucking game when we needed to the most. So I got to give that guy some fucking props. He stepped the fuck up last night. He didn't fucking just cower up in a ball, throw a fit, and throw anything against the wall and just concentrate on next week. No, he made sure that he was going to start off with a trios championship up front. We don't need 2 fucking tournaments going on. We don't need interim fucking champ. We just need a new set of fucking title holders. And with the AEW championship, in just 2 weeks, that's all we have to find out for this little mini tournament to find out the new champion. Not interim, a new fucking champion. So I like how Tony is getting to the fucking point. Within 2 weeks, we're going to have 4 new champions. World Heavyweight, right down to the trios. We don't have to wait 2 months for some stupid, idiotic bullshit tournament. We don't have to have an interim champion. But the fact that CM Punk has been suspended, bro, how did it get to this point? And I mean that rhetorically because I just went over for 40 minutes how it got to this point. But do you realize that with this guy, I mean, there's like a black cloud that has followed CM Punk since he's gotten to AEW. Or really since the last 7 years. Since he walked out of WWE, there has been a black cloud over that dude. I mean, from his UFC back to fucking pro wrestling, this guy can't catch a fucking break. And his attitude and his all about me demeanor and ways is just getting him into more fucking trouble. Tony Khan gave him a chance, made an interim champion to make sure he comes back with a title. And CM Punk spit in the face of Tony Khan, bro. Like, if you love Tony Khan or not, that's fine. That's the eye of the beholder. That's your prerogative. But what Punk did to Tony Khan, he spit in his fucking face, bro. This guy went out of his way to create an interim champion when Mox should have been the fucking title holder solely. There should be no fucking interim title holder. That should have been Mox's, bro. Mox should have been holding that title. Mox should have won in Chicago because Mox was one of the fire starters in that fucking company for the last 2 months. The one that could ignite that excitement from the fucking jump. The one that was fucking with all the momentum, all of the charisma. It was fucking Mox, that confidence, man, that momentum. And Punk wins in Chicago, turns around an hour later at the scrum, and spits in the face of Tony Khan. That's what happened. And I'm sure that CM Punk thought that he could get away with it, man. He'd get the EVPs in trouble. He'll get them suspended. Surely I will not get in trouble. And once they're out of the equation, me and you will be running this company, Tony. And then it'll really be me, right? You guys remember what Phil Brooks said at that press conference, at that media scrum. Media, I use that term loosely. I didn't see any media there. But remember what he said? I'm trying to run a fucking business here. And these irresponsible people are running around telling lies that when they couldn't even manage a target. He said, I'm trying to run a business. He didn't say that the EVPs are. He didn't say Tony Khan is. He said, I'm trying to run this business. I mean, that gives you a glimpse. That gives you a glimpse into the mindset of CM Punk. That's not even shade. That just gives you a glimpse. I've noticed it from day one. I always have. I was hoping when he came back, yes, he truly had found that smile like Shawn Michaels so many moons ago, and he loves wrestling again. But either he just never really found that smile absolutely like full throttle, or wrestling never fully loved him back like they did back in WWE. But there's a disconnect. And Punk is now going to have to ask himself if he wants to come back. Tony Khan is going to have to ask. I'm going to ask you guys something, man. Tony Khan's going to have to ask, do I even want Punk back? Guys, doesn't it seem like that when CM Punk got to that fucking locker room, maybe it took a few months, right? Everybody's always the nicest during the first meetings, right? When somebody's new somewhere, you're always going to get the most polite version of them. Once they get comfortable, always remember this. At any job you work at, anywhere you ever go in life, when somebody new comes on, you're going to see their best. As they get more and more comfortable, you're going to see their asshole side. You're going to see their prick side. You're going to see their true colors. I think after just a couple months of Punk coming back, doesn't it seem like AEW started to be fucking ruined from within? A lethal injection of poison from within. And the poison was labeled CM Punk. Doesn't it seem that fucking way? That's not shade. I wanted the best for Punk. I spoke nothing but highly of Punk when he came back, actually. And we had our beef in the past. But I was speaking highly because I wanted the best for him, for AEW. I was like, this is what's needed. Let's just book it properly. Let's rock. Guys, do you realize that all of this mess, there's one common denominator. Phillip Brooks, CM Punk. Once Tony Khan brought that lethal dose of poison into the company started to be ravaged from within. It's insane to think of that way, but that's what happened. That's like factual information, guys. That's literally what happened. Punk was brought in. The locker room was never the same. After just a couple of months, we started hearing stories that people were not happy in that fucking locker room. We started hearing people wanted releases. People wanted out. We started hearing that Punk was becoming a problem. And then it culminates to this. It culminates to fucking this. It was inevitable. You can't let the inmates run the asylum and think that this is not going to fucking happen. Where you have to suspend your EV fucking P's, bro. Your fucking fellow bosses, the people that you depend on, when you have to do something, you can say, dude, you know what you have to do. Please help me out. And you had to suspend them for backstage altercation because your world heavyweight champion didn't know how to compose himself properly, publicly. You can say a lot about Tony Khan. You got to feel a little bit bad, man. He fucked up. He fucked up. He let the inmates run the asylum. He got walked on. But, dude, to lose your heavyweight champion and all of your EVPs and your top backstage your backstage agents, bro, Pat Buck. We're hearing that Pat Buck has been suspended as well. We're hearing that my boy Christopher Daniels suspended. And others. I mean, Tony Khan took a knockout punch at All Out. Tony Khan took a fucking knockout punch, and he stood the fuck back up, and he showed his face on camera to a booing crowd, by the way. Where were they? New York, Buffalo, I think? I believe they were in Buffalo. Chat, correct me if I'm wrong, please. Buffalo booed Tony Khan out of the building, backstage where he was running that fucking taped announcement. Thank goodness it was taped. Buffalo booed Tony Khan out of the, because even Buffalo, and that's a lot of tried and true diehard AEW fans, they see the unnecessary turmoil that's going on, and they wanted Tony to step the fuck up, put on the big boy pants, and act like an adult who's running a company. And he did last night. He could have cowered up in a fucking ball and ran into a fucking bathroom and hid from everybody that he just talked shit about, but he didn't. He didn't. He stood the fuck up. Good for him. I give that guy a lot of fucking praise, and I hope that when everybody does come back, if they ever do, you call another meeting and you tell everybody just who the fuck is in charge from here on out, and hopefully there's a way out of this EVP bullshit. You don't need 3 EVPs like Omega and Bucks. You don't. You don't. What you need is help creatively. Hire them, Tony. That is free advice from BC. Hire creative staff that can help you with the show. But he lost everything after Sunday's event, all from that fucking media scrum. But to be honest, even if Punk didn't go off at the media scrum, something like that was bound to happen. Punk was a ticking time bomb, and he wanted to explode. He wanted to shake that whole locker room up because he knew deep down there's a lot of people that did not like him, and he felt a lot of people were talking shit. Punk said it himself. What'd he say, guys? Loose lips, I believe, is what he said. He said people in this company, in those locker rooms, have loose lips. That's what CM Punk said. And he's called out the EVPs directly. Said they couldn't even manage. They're irresponsible fucks that could not manage a target. Called Hangman Page an empty-headed dumb fuck. And said there's other people in that company that have loose lips. This was going to happen anyway, man. The media scrum, the injury that Punk had to have known was going to keep him out for a long time and people were going to be talking, pissed him off to the point where that ticking time bomb stopped ticking and it just fucking went poof. And it wasn't a pipe bomb, it was a Punk bomb. And the EVPs went to his fucking locker room door with other people with them. And the brawl ensued, and Tony Khan's promotion was never the fucking same. Will never be. He didn't even mention CM Punk last night. Didn't even mention CM Punk. I don't even think he mentioned his EVPs, Omega and the Bucks. Chat, you let me know, the 1,000+ of you right now, did he even mention his EVPs? I think he was just so pissed off. He's like, I don't even want to talk about them. And he just said after Sunday night, all the titles are fucking vacated. The World Heavyweight and the Trios. And this is what's going to happen. I don't even think he fucking mentioned anybody. That tells you this was as real as can be. This was a fucking shoot. Didn't even fucking mention them. Didn't try to fill in the casual fan. Whoever casual fan does watch AEW. He didn't even try. He's just like, this is what's happening. And in fucking 60 seconds, that was it. The crowd booed the shit out of him. They were not happy that it escalated to this fucking point. I don't know what Ace Steel's wife was doing in there, by the way. Punk knew that they were coming to his fucking locker room door. Punk knew it. That's why Ace Steel was there. Why the fuck was his dog Larry there? Why was Steel's wife there when you knew the boys were about to brawl? Leave the fucking wife out of it. Leave the dog out of it. They should have been out of the fucking room. Somebody you trust, if there's anybody other than Ace Steel, Punk, fucking watch over them. If Steel's there to help you, because you know the cavalry's coming, right? Leave the women out of it. Leave the fucking pets out of it. Let's fucking rock out. Because the second, this is what the report says, the second that the Bucks entered the door with Omega and company, Punk didn't let them say a word. Punk immediately started throwing sucker punches at Matt Jackson. Nick tried to stop Punk. Omega tries to get Larry out because Larry tries to join the fray. Larry the dog. Omega finally gets Larry out of the equation. Nick gets a fucking steel chair from Ace Steel to the eye. Omega's trying to get Steel off of Nick Jackson. Punk's throwing more sucker punches. I mean, doesn't this sound like a fucking comedy act? But it's real. It's real, bro. That's real fucking details, man. It's sad that we're even... It sounds like I'm just fucking... I'm having some fun with this, and I'm saying some rinky-dink circus shit that we think may have happened, or it'd be funny if it did happen. No, this is real, guys. Very real. Every detail that I just fucking gave you is real as fuck. This is no longer a work, because this would be the worst work of all time. Nobody ends up looking good here. So if this was to be a work, they worked themselves into a travesty, because this turmoil is fucking pathetic. The one good thing here is that this is so bad, it makes your company look so bad that this is going to attract viewers, because everybody loves to see a train wreck. I really do feel that they have the opportunity to catch a 1.2 in the ratings. If they only pull a 1.1, I'm going to be shocked. Because you can't get any more interest than this, right? I always talk about that one big storyline that wrestling needs today, like the NWO back in the day, or Austin and McMahon. This, in a way, even though it's real life, this is one of those stories that just attracts everybody if they hear about it. So if they weren't hit a 1.2, bro, man, then the company's going to be in rough shape to try to get a story that's going to captivate everybody. And I'm going to drop another fucking honesty bomb on you guys. You guys know how much I love MJF. In and out of the ring, he's always in character, and that's what I love about pro wrestling, and that's what I miss about it. A lot of today's pro wrestlers, man, they're just, they want to do whatever they're going to do in the ring as a character, and then they just want to jump on social media under their real name or real persona, and they just want to try to get a bunch of likes by leaving what they're eating for dinner, vacation. And it's like, dude, I don't want to. You just got written off TV for 2 weeks. I don't want to see you on vacation in the tropics, in Bermuda, with a fucking libation in your hand and a lei around your neck and a nice palm tree behind you. I want to think that you actually got beat up for 2 weeks. You're out of commission. You know, you see Eddie Kingston talk all this shit about Claudio Cesaro, right? He in real life hates him. He can't stand him. And then you see that fucking referee post a picture of all three of them at dinner smiling. And it's like, come on, bro, don't post that shit. But that's where we're at in pro wrestling. MJF, he's not like that, bro. He's going to flip you off on camera in the ring, and then he's going to flip you off if you go to his contract signing. He's going to flip you off in the supermarket if you notice him. MJF is the real life dude, man. He just has the volume turned up. I love those type of people. Those are larger than life usually. Roddy Piper, Nature Boy Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, Randy Macho Man Savage, Ultimate Warrior. You know, some of those names I just named, like Warrior, Hogan, not the best talent-wise, skill level-wise, but larger than life, because it was just them with the volume turned up. Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? As the ringmaster, nobody gave a fuck. When he became Stone Cold, clear the way. You don't give a fuck what you're doing on Monday nights. It just got canceled because you're watching Monday Night Raw, because when the glass shattered, it's your ass. That was the old saying. When you hear the glass, it's your ass. You had to be at home watching Stone Cold, man, because he turned the volume up. He found a way to turn the volume up. And that's the Stone Cold you started seeing with autograph sessions. That's the Stone Cold that was walking in the supermarkets. It's still the fucking Steve Williams you see today, Steve Austin. Character turned up. Fuck social media. Undertaker, prime example. Larger than life. Never had the once go on social media until his career was over, basically. Undertaker, larger than life, right? MJF, if you're going to use social, use it in a way where you're going to up your character, man, where people can still believe in your shit. I promise you it's going to help your career a millionfold. So here's what I was getting at, guys. That was a side rant. MJF, his return thus far, and I understand he had a decent promo last night. He mentioned WWE a bunch of times, Triple H, mentioned Nick Khan, mentioned Brucey, mentioned all that shit, right? WWE as a whole. First of all, they have to be careful, man. I no longer need to hear WWE and all these AEW promos to get an ooh and an ah from your fans. I hope they stop that going forward. We have enough of that shit, all right? A bunch of people have mentioned WWE. We get it on camera. And we all ooh and we all ah. Let's calm that down a little bit. There's too many WWE references in that. Number two, as of right now, MJF's return has been botched. That's not really Tony Khan's fault. CM Punk overshadowed it. And a lot of people think that MJF did that to Wardlow. I understand. Not to this magnitude. CM Punk doing what he did Sunday night absolutely destroyed the return of MJF on that night. The day that the whole thing was and that's my boy. It pains me to say that, dude. But it should have been so much more special. So much more fucking special. And instead, CM Punk went into that business for himself. CM Punk took all the fucking headlines. And even last night, nobody was talking about what is MJF going to do tonight. Everybody was talking about Punk, Omega, how they're going to fucking do the title thing, his injury, his fucking, what he said. Is he going to be suspended, maybe fired? Nobody was talking about, and I'm telling you, all the headlines, man. Nobody was talking about MJF, the dude who's been out for months, one of the biggest stars in AEW. His first Dynamite back in months. Nobody talking about that guy. And last night, he shows up and just delivers that promo. Mox comes out and fucking basically out-trumps him on the promo. When the promo was done, everyone was talking about how Mox's promo was so good. MJF, karma's a motherfucker. It wasn't to the same magnitude, but he did steal the headlines off of Wardlow's big night many months ago when Wardlow fucking got that win over MJF, and MJF looked like he wasn't even going to show up. And then here we are months later, man, and the same thing happens to MJF on a fucking bigger level. I mean, MJF returning should have been the biggest fucking thing in pro wrestling since fucking Punk debuting in AEW. This was huge. This is what we've been waiting for. And fucking, it's just overshadowed by 1,000,000% by Punk. And then Wednesday, he was like an afterthought, man. He comes out first to start the show, and you're still thinking about the fucking Punk situation. I feel so bad for MJF, man. I really hope that ignites. I don't know who wins this fucking world title, by the way. Chat, I don't know. There's a fucking 1,000 of you guys up in here, man. Who the fuck, who wins this thing, man? Are you going Mox again? Is he going to play the second fiddle every time CM Punk can't make the dates? So Mox just is that Mox is there just to fucking, to make sure everything is tidied up when the A team can't make it? Don't worry, guys. The B team's coming back in. Mox. Do you give it back to Mox, who should have never lost it because he's fucking been amazing for the past 2 months up front? Does it go to Chris Jericho? Are you going to give that shit to Dan Garcia? I wouldn't put it past Tony Khan to put it on fucking Dan Garcia. Or do you put it on, who else am I fucking missing here? Bryan Danielson, correct? Does Bryan Danielson finally get his epic fucking moment in AEW? Because I said in the last stream, Bryan Danielson's booking has been so fucking pathetic and yawn-inducing. I have not cared about anything Danielson has been doing lately, man. His fucking back and forth 50-50 booking with Dan Garcia has done nothing for BC. If it did for you, great. Did nothing for BC, man. I'm over here watching Dan Garcia fucking beat Bryan Danielson. I'm watching Danielson in a faction. I'm like, this at one point, this was the guy who was the guy in the fucking world of wrestling, man. WrestleMania 30, this guy's fucking jacking up tens of thousands of motherfuckers. And now it's just like, oh, Bryan Danielson's coming out to wrestle. Does Danielson win this thing, man? Most of you guys are saying Bryan Danielson or Mox. I would hope so. It's not going to be fucking... Jericho, I just don't see what he would do with it going forward that's going to be better than Mox or Danielson. Sorry, not sorry. I would love to see Jericho as champion again one day. I don't know right now if he would be better than Mox and Danielson. Especially if they're going to go the trajectory that they were going with Punk. If he was going to remain a face. Oh, Garcia's not even in the match. My bad. He lost. Yeah, that was just a main event match last night, right? My bad. So it's Jericho and Danielson, correct? And then Mox is going to be taking on... Who? The winner of Friday night? Sammy and Darby. I think that's Friday night, correct? Rampage? Or is that next week on Dynamite? Yeah, that was for the ROH Pure title. My bad. So fucking Garcia wins the title over... The Pure Championship, just in case you were wondering if it was pure or unpure. Sanitized or unsanitized. Yeah, it's pure, don't worry. And it's over on Garcia. Sammy won the match. What the fuck is BC? Okay, so fucking... Yeah, Friday night, Darby versus Sammy. Sammy didn't win anything yet. So Sammy Guevara, I believe, would win that match, right? Darby's not winning that shit, is he? I don't even fucking know, man. This is a mess, bro. CM Punk fucking... CM Punk has been stripped of his AEW championship. All the EVPs are fucking suspended. How do you even... God, I'm just shocked by it all, man. I'm absolutely shocked by it all. That's the fucking details, man. That's the details. The trio championships have been won, by the way, by Pac, his stable. I think that's the right call. It's about time Pac gets a fucking title, by the way. Pac needed some type of momentum. Pac's another guy that you forget he's even on the roster. Thank you guys, man. Over 400 on those fucking ups as we head amplified style to 500. That's all you motherfuckers. That's all you getting amped, bro. And everybody up in the chat, man, I know it takes 4 weeks if you're new to the channel. A little initiation kind of period, man. You have to come in for 4 weeks to prove yourselves that you're AMP unit members. I don't want any fucking schmuck that can't handle truth or is going to cry the second that they disagree or they're going to cry because they can't handle the fucking truth. If you're going to join the amplified unit, you got to wait 4 weeks, 1 month, so you can be a part of the unit and actually shoot the shit with BC in my unit. So that's the big thing here, guys. So I appreciate everybody up in the chat. I see you guys. I'm going to get to the super chats in just a couple of minutes. I didn't want to keep you guys here all day. I already ranted about that for over an hour because this is a big story. Over 1,000 of you guys, man, live while we talked about this. And even though we're going over the supers now, we're going to wind this motherfucking down. We still got hundreds live on a fucking Thursday afternoon. You guys fucking rock, man. Absolutely humbled that you would come over to the channel on a Thursday afternoon because you need to hear BC rant the fuck out of this because you know there's so many people in the community, but it's only BC that rocks this bitch amplified style. I appreciate every single one of you guys. James Shrimp Fajitas, I see you up in the chat, brother. I hear you. I'm always going to preach the real shit, bro. And I like to think that that's why the thousands of you guys come right here to the amplified, man. Especially on a fucking 450 just hit on those ups. Let's keep rocking to 500. Why not? We're fucking kicking ass today, bro. We're kicking the fucking shit out of this fucking whole platform right now, bro. We fucking setting this place ablaze. This bitch is fucking getting lit on fire, bro. I know a lot of people are just probably finding the channel, man. Just subscribing to the channel. Welcome. My name's BC Amplified. You're in from one hell of a ride. It's going to take 4 weeks for you to shoot the shit in the chat, but it's going to be worth it, I assure you, man. There's nobody in this community like BC. And you're going to find out just how much we rock this bitch. We rock it so hard that even Tony Khan gets upset at our critiques. That's a long story for another day. Much love to every one of you guys. I'm going to go over to my super chats. The fucking power bomb bangers. Sasha, put me over on 4, man. I'm still on 2. I can't see any of that. Here we go. I got you guys, brah. Oh, man. All right, let's rock this first with Colin with that $4.99. What up, Colin? Colin says, this is the reason Cody Rhodes left the company at the right time. Colin, no question, bro. Cody Rhodes saw the writing on the wall, man. If you guys want to know what happened, Cody Rhodes saw the writing on the wall. Cody Rhodes knew what Punk was most likely going to do. Cody Rhodes wanted no part of that. And he left at absolutely the right fucking time. Cody Rhodes said, check you, bro. I'm fucking peacing out now. I'm salvaging whatever's left of my career or what's going to be. I'm fucking doing something big right now. So, Colin, 1,000,000% accuracy on that comment, bro. Thank you for the coffee. I appreciate that. Savage, 1024, the Punisher, a couple of 5 spots. Savage! Thanks for the coffees, brah. Much love and respect over to you, dude. The only 2 things I enjoyed about All Out was Chris Jericho versus Danielson and MJF's return. CM Punk has dug a hole. A shithole, no doubt, Savage. And now he's just injured and finds himself on the suspended list. So that was just an all-around. After he won it's so ironic, right? He wins the championship. Should be a great night for CM Punk. Phil Brooks. It ends up being one of his worst nights of his career. Bad injury. We're hearing he already got surgery or he's going to in the next 48 hours. Out at least up to 9 months. And he's also suspended. Now, I doubt that's going to run concurrent, right? That would be stupid. He's already injured. The suspension would mean nothing. So you would have to do it. It would have to be kind of retro in reverse, right? When he's able to come back, wouldn't you think that that's when the suspension has to start? If Punk is suspended during the injury, Punk just made off like a fucking... He made out like a bandit, bro. If Tony Khan... I mean, you would think that he would have to suspend Punk when he's cleared. Otherwise, Punk just played this fucking beautifully, man, and he got the EVPs out of there. A little fuck you to them. Savage 1020 for the Punisher also says CM Punk wasn't happy about what I gave him last week, so I gave him a tombstone through the like button. Savage 1020 for the Punisher. One of those likes was from Savage, man. He sent Punk through there with that tombstone. Savage, always creative on that shit. Thank you, brother. Always good seeing you up in here. I appreciate the coffees. Jibril Goodwin. I haven't seen Jibril up in the chat in a long time. Jibril Goodwin, what's cracking, brother? How you doing? Jibril says, I guarantee you Triple H is laughing his ass off at this. Yeah, Triple H said all of this, man, in the ring on that Smackdown. He said all of this. He said, man, you and me were a lot alike. The difference is that I'll stab you from... I won't stab you from behind. I'll look you right in the eyes and tell you what I'm going to do. You go around people's backs, stab them, and then you try to play the martyr. I'll never forget those words, man. That was nearly an exact quote. Nearly. Paraphrased a little bit. But Triple H looked right at CM Punk, and he said those words. And it's just fucking... It's insane how... It's absolutely insane how you come full circle. And it's a completely different locker room. It's a completely different company. And it's the same problems. The same CM Punk. You know, it's the old saying, when you get into a lot of fucking trouble or everything just sucks and you move out of state, you go somewhere else, right, to live. The same problems are going to be there unless you change yourself. You know, if it's the same you and you refuse to change, you're just bringing those problems to another place. It seems like Phil Brooks just brought all those problems to another place. Jibril Goodwin, no fucking doubt. Enforcer 2K9. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to start up another coffee. I talk so much, man. This one already started to get cold, so I'm going to let this become an iced coffee. You guys see me do this all the time. I'm going to get another sip first. This is going to be an iced coffee. I'm going to start up another coffee, and I'm going to continue to shoot the shit with you guys. Salute to all you guys. If you guys are fucking going to rock out like you have been already this whole hour plus, then I'm going to fucking keep going too, guys. Let's do this. Take that one out. Yeah. It's another espresso, guys. Another Dunkin' espresso. All right. Well, that brews, man. Let's get back to it. I got Enforcer 2K9 with that coffee. 5 Spot says, you think Aleister Black could bring some legitimacy to a Judgment Day? Seems like the theme of that group is right now his ally. I think it would be amazing visually, Enforcer 2K9. That's obvious. He'd be the clear ruler of it, and that wouldn't bode well for Finn Balor or Priest, who are trying to find themselves right now. And this guy just comes in and becomes the leader. That makes Balor and Priest look like absolute clowns because they just booted out Edge. And now Aleister comes in and just starts owning them. That's A. B, I don't want to see Aleister in any fucking group. Same thing I said about Malakai when he got to AEW. I don't want to see him in any faction for a long fucking time. And Tony throws him into a faction, and before you know it, he's basically irrelevant. And it's the same thing with WWE, man. I don't see why he would debut back in WWE and then just get thrusted into another faction. I need to see Aleister, Malakai, whatever you want to call this guy. I want him on his own and beating the fuck out of this wrestling thing and showing everybody just how fucking good he is, man. Oh, that coffee is ready to be topped off. Beautiful. So, That's the deal on that, Enforcer. Of course, visually, in the flow of it, of course he would fit perfectly in Judgment Day. There's no way they can have that happen, though. Because that is not so good for Balor, not so good for Priest. Dominic and Rhea Ripley, it wouldn't affect at all. Probably help them. It would not help Priest. It would not help Balor. And it would just diminish Aleister Black. That's truly how I feel about that. Enforcer 2K9. Much love and respect, brother. Good seeing you up in here. Always is one of my tried and trues. Let me get this coffee going. Zachary Girello. Zachary with that 199. Tony Khan is Vince McMahon 2.0. Up until last night, that's what he's been. Last night, he put his big boy pants on, delivered a show, didn't cower, didn't run away, didn't cry, put on one of his best shows that since AEW's inception, and showed everybody that he can take a stand when he needs to. Now, it happened to be when everybody that was walking over him was not in the building and suspended. Then he finally chose to stand up and stand his ground. But if he can keep doing that going forward, I give him all the credit and respect. Learn from your mistakes. Let's get better. But up until this point, Zachary, you're absolutely correct. He was no better than a 2.0. Maybe a smidge better. How he treated his wrestlers. That's a hazelnut fucking creamer, by the way, on this espresso Dunkin'. So, no sugar on this one, man. We're just going to stir it a little bit. I'll let that texture go to the top. Let me go rock this shit, man. Salute. All those supers so far, man. Colin, Savage 1024, Jibril, and Enforcer 2K9, and Zachary. Much love and respect to all you guys. And Jimmy Fingers 19's up in this bitch. Jimmy Fingers 19, 519. First off, BC, I just gave the like button an Ace Steel Bite for 300. That's badass, brother. Oh, man, you guys always crack BC up. Number 300 on the likes was an Ace Steel Bite. That's badass. Bro, we about to hit 500, Jimmy Fingers. We about to hit 500 on those ups, believe it or not, live on a Thursday afternoon, man. I'm just a little ECW channel, bro. I'm not supposed to be pulling in numbers like this, I was told. You'll never do that, BC. We already got people that are doing that, BC. You're never going to hit that shit, BC. Well, whether you like it or not, I'm hitting fucking 500 live. We're on our way to 600 right now, man. Jimmy Fingers 19, I got to give you a proper salute. And the like button can't come back from a fucking Ace Steel Bite, bro. Jimmy Fingers 19. Bakayuko, one of my tried and trues, 298. 3 years of AEW, and all TK does is tournaments. Shake my head. Yeah, that's it's definitely a problem. I really hope that changes going forward. I want him to get creative. I mean, this is a company, guys, that has a ranking system. We really thought that was going to be utilized more, right? Oh, they're going to pay attention to wins and losses. They're going to pay attention to who's the top ranked. It's going to be more sports-based. And guys, all I'm seeing is tournaments and battle royals and fucking... It's just, schmaz ways. Interim champion should never be a thing. If you're injured, the belt's off. But these tournaments, it's one every week, it seems. There's some type of a tournament. At what point, man? At what point do you just think of something different than a tournament? Maybe, here's a crazy concept, I know. What if you actually followed your ranking system and take the top 4 guys, and there's your little, on one night, your little mini double main event tournament. You get those 2 guys, and either that night, make it a triple main event, or the next week, you find out who the champion is. Why not? The tournaments are just, it's baffling to me. At least this world title one, at least it's only 2 weeks. It's 2 weeks to build it, and then at Arthur Ashe, Queens, New York City, we're going to have the new champion, man. At least. But Bakayuka, you know how I feel about the tournaments. I mean, this is scripted, pre-planned. All the winner, predetermined, rehearsed, scripted. You don't need to treat this like it's the NBA playoffs, the Major League Baseball and NFL playoffs. It's fucking stupid. No real storylines come from this shit. So we're wasting all of this time on this bullshit tournament, acting like it's a real sport, when we could be giving storylines that we give a fuck about, because pro wrestling needs to be about two things. What is it, guys? You know what I'm going to say. Larger than life characters and storylines. Unless AEW gets more storylines that we give a fuck about, all of the tournaments in the world are not going to bring people to the yard. All of the tournaments in the world, people are not going to give a fuck. Storylines. I can't say it enough. Baka Yuka. No fucking doubt, man. Salute. Lloyd Grissom with a 2-spot. The Hangman versus Danielson match was a great match. Lloyd, I got to agree with you for one main reason. For those of you that don't know, Danielson took on Hangman last night yet again. Hangman finally gets airtime on Dynamite in a meaningful way. I mean, there's no new storyline with Danielson, but we know it's going to be a banger. So at least a lot of us are going to watch, I guess. But he was there after being shit on by CM Punk for weeks. He finally gets something relevant on Dynamite. Something that's more than 10 minutes, 15, 20 plus minutes. And that's what I thought was greater. You guys got to remember, Danielson and Hangman took on each other twice before, correct? I think the first time was a 60-minute Iron Man match, correct? And I don't even think there was a winner, correct? That led to a second match, and that went a half an hour. Please correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Jer9 Gaming, anybody up in the chat? Because I'm just trying to go on. I don't have any notes in front of me. I'm trying to think back. But I think their first match went 60 minutes. I don't believe there was a winner. And then the second one was 30 minutes. So I was hoping that this match was not going to be less than 10 minutes, because you can't get a fan like BC to believe that would happen. You're telling me they cannot pin each other. The first two matches lasted an hour and a half combined. So if you broke that up, the average match time in the two matches was 45 minutes, and it just takes 10 minutes for one of them to beat each other last night? I'm not going to believe that. So Tony Khan had them go 25 minutes last night. Very good. If you're going to do that fucking match, you better give them over 20 minutes to make it realistic. So who was that, Lloyd? I actually agree with you. The match was not only good, but it was realistic. And that's what BC looks for. Just as much as anything else. So, realistic, man. Jimmy Fingers 19 with a 2019. Jimmy Fingers, I got to give you a salute before I read that, man. A 20 banger, bro. That's 3 boxes of pods on the coffee. So I appreciate that, Jimmy Fingers. It's not needed. Hella appreciated, though. Salute. Jimmy Finger says, I have no interest in seeing Punk or his godlike complex again. I am no psychologist, but I have been around bipolar, and he is bipolar 101. Does not excuse it. Injury aside, he is not mentally or physically stable for the business. Jimmy Fingers 19, hammering. Punk. It sounds like these are Jimmy Fingers 19's honest feelings about it. There is something going on with Punk complex-wise. I always said that. There's this feeling within Phil Brooks where he always feels like he has to prove himself. He always feels like he is the guy that's not getting the respect. Maybe it stems from real-life situations nonstop, including the wrestling business, but the wrestling business has not helped CM Punk's psyche. And I feel that he's always trying to show himself as more than what he is. Trying to act like more of a badass than what he truly is. And I think that comes back to bite him all the fucking time. So Jimmy Fingers 19, I don't know about all of that medically, like actually, but I can say that there is some type of complex going on within Phil Brooks. And even in WWE, there was a lot of people that just did not like him. He didn't have a hell of a lot of friends in WWE, and he sure as hell doesn't in AEW, and this seems to be a theme. Now, being an introvert is one thing. There's a lot of people in the world that just do better on their own. They're introverts, they're not extroverts. But that doesn't mean that they piss everybody off that they come across. It doesn't mean that they can't get friends and keep them. It just means that they like to be on their own. They don't like to be in big crowds. There's people like that. But Punk, it's different. I mean, when he's around people, he needs to be the alpha, even if he's not the alpha. That's where the problem arises. You're not being authentic at that point, and then you're just doing some shady shit to try to gain the upper hand. And this is the situation that Punk finds himself in again. So, Jimmy Fingers 19. I don't know officially what he is or has, but I can definitely agree there's some type of complex shit going on. Jimmy Fingers 19, that 2019. And Jimmy Fingers wasn't even done. For those of you wondering, Jimmy Fingers came back with a 10-19. Jimmy Fingers 19 is getting a whole fucking next video of coffee on his own. Jimmy Fingers, I appreciate all the coffee, dude. Let me give you another fucking massive salute. Jimmy Fingers 19 says, as for the Bucks and Kenny, no more EVP roles for active talent. Now that creates an unsafe work environment charge. Put Big Show, Mark Henry, and Dustin backstage for Muscle and Regal head of creative. Bro, sounds good to me. I mean, Dustin Rhodes knows his shit. I love what Dustin said 2 months ago. He's trying to teach the talent to slow it down. He's trying to teach them that instead of just worrying about your cool moves and your cool flips and your dives and trying to get, this is awesome, fight forever chance, fuck that. He's telling them to work on their characters, try to make more of a connection with the crowd, try to use more in-ring psychology, and try to get over like that, and maybe you can be on the road to becoming larger than life. But instead, they don't listen. And they just go out there and they try to use the ropes in the ring as a trampoline. And they try to get the pops throughout the match. And then when it's over, everybody forgets about the match. Because we're seeing one of these bangers after bangers. I've said this many live streams lately. I've talked about this subject. Where everybody just has the attention span of a Fruit Loop. And they just want to mark out for the entire fucking banger duration. And then when it's done, everyone sits down, they eat their popcorn, they forget about that match because it was the same thing we always see, man. Flips and dives and crazy fucking moves. Everybody is a fucking, those little red light beams where you fucking go against the wall and your fucking pet is chasing it. Everybody is just doing all this shit. And if you're live, you're like, whoa. It's like circus meets gymnastics. If you're at home, I don't know how many of these same type of matches you can watch before you want to start feeling a storyline attached, feel some type of emotion with it. How many suicide dives can you guys watch and still fucking jump up and down on your couch like a fucking 10-year-old going, wow, this is a banger? How many? How many fucking moonsaults or 450s? Or fucking 627 Wabaka, oh my goodness, how you doing splashes can you watch? Or whatever they're calling these moves these days. A 940 inadverted, complexed, pure 412 splash. How many of the same shit can you watch over and over in scenarios that nobody gives a fuck about? Luckily, there wasn't too many of those matches last night. One of the first matches for the Trios Championship. Go back and watch. You might not like what I'm saying, guys, but that Trios match, there was no fucking tag match. It's a Trios tag division. Nobody was tagging. I think maybe there was a couple of tags throughout the match, especially like at the end when the legal guy had to be in. Other than that, the referee was in the corner twiddling his fucking thumbs. Every 2 minutes, he would put his thumbs up his fucking ass because even he was getting bored. And all 6 dudes were just flying around the ring like they're frisbees, basketballs, ping pong balls. There was no fucking tags. Nobody was selling. There was no psychology. If Jim Ross was on commentary, I don't think he was. But if he was, he wouldn't know how to call that shit. He knows that's not wrestling. That's not pro wrestling, bro. Dustin Rhodes is probably fucking... He probably has a towel over his head when these type of matches are on. Dustin Rhodes knows that's not wrestling. I don't care if it's 2022 and things have changed. Times have changed, BC. That's not pro wrestling. You have to sell. You have to use in-ring psychology. You have to slow the pace down. You have to connect with the crowd more and not just get banger pops. This is awesome. Did you guys see? Go back and watch. Check this out, man. If you think BC's being too harsh, check this out. Go back and watch the match. You're going to see a "This is awesome" chant while people are sitting down. I'm not even joking. This is what it's come to, guys. There was a chant last night during that match. This is awesome. And everyone was sitting down chanting it. If that is not going through the motions and not really feeling like it's awesome, then I don't know what is. Wrestling fans have ruined that chant. Can't we just start singing fucking "This is good"? Sing it, chant it, say it. This is good. I don't give a fuck if it sounds good or not. This is decent. Let's be more honest. A whole Buffalo was chanting "This is awesome" while they were sitting down, eating their popcorn, just screaming it. Listen. Oh, fuck, that was a good piece. Deborah, you see this? This was a good piece. Nancy, you see this? Where was I? Awesome. This is... Oh, I dropped my fucking popcorn. Deborah, move. Where's my slushie? This is awesome. They weren't even fucking looking at the fucking match. It's gotten to the point where we just chant it. It's gotten to the point where we are like fucking toddlers watching this shit. As long as people are moving really fast and doing crazy flips, we're going to start chanting shit. It was never meant to be gymnastics. This is fucking pro wrestling. I wish we treated it like that. Oh, man, that was a long fucking response. Who was that? Jimmy Fingers, right? Yeah, Jimmy Fingers, because you brought up Dustin Jimmy Fingers. So I took that super chat and I went into left field with a hockey stick. Jimmy Fingers 19. Much love, dude. Thank you for all the coffees. I always love seeing you up in the chat, brother. One of my tried and trues and one of my very best. Gregory, this is so-so. This is so-so. Oh, you guys are the best, bro. Enforcer 2K9 with another coffee. Enforcer. Salute, bro. And I quote, "You can't be any geek off the street. You gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean." Who says that, Enforcer? Who is that? Who's the quote from? "You can't be any geek off the street. You gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean." Who is that? I'm drawing a blank on it, man. Who is it? Let me know, man. I'm on a delay, chat. Somebody tell me who says that. You can't be any geek off the street. You got to be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean. Oh, is that regulators? Mount up? No. No. Oh, it is Warren G. Oh, shit. My bad. Okay. Listen, I've been going over an hour and a half on this stream, bro. Regulators! Mount up. All right, man. Mad props. You know what, Enforcer? I'm going to give you and Warren G some love. Badass. My botch there, Enforcer. I think I played that on the channel one time, too. I should have known. Let's go over to A Mary 316. Amari 316, 5-spot coffee. Did you notice that they basically erased CM Punk from the opening package? I didn't notice that. Is that true? Did they take Punk off of the opening package? Because Tony Khan was so upset. He was so pissed off. He didn't even mention CM Punk. Amari 316. So now I got to go back. And my chat is telling me that is true. So not that you didn't know that. You're telling me that. I just wanted confirmation. At some point, I got to go check that myself, man. They actually took Punk off of the opening signature, the opening package. Tony Khan didn't even mention this dude. Bro. Yeah, he is not happy with CM Punk. Tony Khan is finally, maybe he's had enough. Do you guys think they should fire the dude? Do you guys think they should fire Punk, or the suspension is okay as long as he serves it after he's back cleared? Because if he serves it while he's out on injury, he's not really suspended. Some of you guys, like Jimmy Fingers, is just saying fire the motherfucker. People like Dominique are saying, nah, suspension is good enough. Pile Driver is saying serve that shit. So once you're cleared, that's when your suspension begins. Yeah, I forgot to even ask you guys, if you were in charge, if you were Tony Khan and you let it get this bad and this happened, now you have to bring down justice. Would you fire him or would you just suspend him? Amari316. Thank you for letting me in on that. I got to check out that video package. It looks like Punk is kind of being erased from AEW right now. Dino, 2-spot. What up, Dino? I'm with Punk on this. Bucks got what they deserved. So Dino believes that the Bucks talked a lot of shit first, the loose lips, like Punk said, and Punk is just paying back that receipt, just doing it his way. I can see that, Dino. I don't know. I'm not personally back there. I talk about it on this channel, and that's all we're doing. So I don't know exactly. I mean, this is just what we hear. There's so much to this story that has not gotten to us that only they know about, and who knows if it's ever going to be disclosed. But it could have been the Bucks. I think my issue and a lot of people's issue, Dino, is Punk did go into business for himself because he overshadowed the entire company with the pay-per-view, especially MJF. And I think that's why people are pissed off. Because a lot of people busted their ass at All Out. And in one little media scrum 10-minute session, Punk literally flipped it all upside down. I think that's what a lot of people are not happy with. Even the fans, and I think that's why Tony Khan got booed so loudly from Buffalo last night. I think fans were like, dude, how could you, the owner of the company, let that happen Sunday night? How the fuck could All Out be basically erased by one man's 8-minute tirade? How could that fucking happen? And I think, Dino, that's the problem that a lot of people had. But I know you're not alone, Dino. Running this channel, there's a lot of people that believe that Punk was in the right to go right back at them. Again, a lot of people are just pissed off at the way that he did it. Even if he wants to go public with it. I mean, did he have to do that to that level? Because he has to know there was going to be a fight afterwards. He literally said before he ended that session, he said, till right now, I'm going to say this again. If anybody's got anything to fucking say, let's fucking go. This is after he just spent 8 minutes trashing the EVPs and others. You gotta know they're gonna stop by the locker room. But Dino, much respect, brother. I hear you. A lot of people are kind of saying, hey, this was more in the right. I don't blame this motherfucker. They had what it was coming. They started it. But sometimes two wrongs don't make a right. Lloyd Grissom. Was that Lloyd? Yeah, Lloyd. Second super chat from Lloyd, by the way. Lloyd earlier talking about Hangman and Danielson. I went over that. And Lloyd Grissom also with another 2-spot says, Kingston's promo with Punk at Rampage tells it all. Absolutely. That's why I love Eddie Kingston, by the way. I was talking about characters that turn the volume up like MJF, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper, Macho Man, Warrior, Hogan, Stone Cold. MJF at the top of the list. Eddie Kingston is the same fucking way. I love Eddie Kingston for that. You're always going to get in his promos a sense of believability and realness because most of the time it's going to be believable because it's real. Fucking Eddie Kingston's real. We like to believe it anyway because he's so good at what he does. Eddie Kingston was letting Punk fucking have it. And everything that Kingston said, if it's not purely truth, it's right on the cusp. Everything that Kingston said, there's been people in this industry, many of them, that have said the same exact things, just not publicly in a wrestling ring. So, Lloyd Grissom, you ain't kidding. Jimmy Fingers 19 back up in this bitch, man. Jimmy Fingers 19, man. That's like fucking, it's gonna be like 4 or 5 boxes of pods, man. Salud, dude. You fucking rocking this super chat, fucking this live stream, bro. You fucking power bombing the super chats, man. Jimmy Fingers 19, you rock, bro. I gotta give you another big swig. You're fucking rocking out. Why are spot monkeys like Darby and Sammy in the tournament and not legit heavyweights like Miro and Andrade in that bracket? Jimmy, I know, bro. I know. And this is why Miro and Andrade liked that tweet a few weeks ago. Remember? Remember the fan talked about Andrade being booked better in WWE and Miro being booked better as Rusev Day even, and they both liked it. That tells you that Miro was not happy with his booking at the time. Don't know if he fucking even is now, even though after that, Tony tried to fucking make him relevant with some backstage promos. Andrade, after he liked it, Tony tried to put him in some matches on Dynamite. But they were both not happy, and it's because what have they really done in AEW? Even Miro's, what was it, the TNT Championship? I mean, did you really remember that? That's already fucking forgotten. What have they really done since they've gotten there? I don't know if it's a lot, bro. And Darby, and I'm all for making new talent, but Sammy had the momentum 2 separate times, and Tony Khan brought it right back down to ground level. I'm like, if you're going to rock with Sammy Guevara, rock with Sammy Guevara. Why would you fucking give him the fucking moon and then fucking reel that moon back in? You're either going to rock with him or you're not going to rock with him. Which is it, dude? We've seen that with Vince McMahon in WWE so many times. How many times did Braun Strowman look like he's finally going to rock that momentum to the next level? Vince McMahon would give him a couple of inches, and then he would take him back an entire mile. And we're like, what the fuck happened to Braun Strowman? That train got derailed. Then all of a sudden, many months later, Braun's coming back up the ranks again. He's got all this momentum, and then Vince McMahon fucking derails him, takes the legs out from underneath him again. And you could say that with so many people in WWE for Vince. Tony Khan has done that with Sammy and so many others. Wardlow had all the momentum in the world with that MJF feud. And then after that, it's just like he totally was an afterthought to Tony Khan. FTR fucks with momentum. They become an afterthought, even with titles. 2 different sets of titles, 3 sets of titles, 10 sets of titles. FTR's booking did not reflect the level of momentum that they were rocking with. FTR was one of the hottest acts in pro wrestling in the last couple of months, and you would not have known it the way they've been booked by Tony Khan. Instead, you're going to see Garcia and Wheeler Yuta in the main event. Again, because it's a train wreck right now, the company, I expect them to do around a 1.2 in the rating. But I wouldn't be shocked if that main event took a dip in the ratings. I'm going to have to see the quarterly report. But that was not what I would be seeing in the fucking main event. And I would be having some more heavyweights in there in the tournament. Because I've seen this before with Sammy. And Darby's the same thing. 1 week you feel something with Darby, right? Darby's that fucking dude. And the next 3 weeks he's irrelevant and in some weird shit. Then all of a sudden there's 2 weeks in a row where Darby seems like he's the center of attention. And then there's a month where Darby's an afterthought. The booking is so fucking weird, and Jimmy Fingers 19, allow me to ask the same question as you, bro. John Vermette, 5 spot. John, I haven't seen you up in here in a while, man. My bad if you have been and I just haven't seen it. The last several live streams, especially with talking about this, has just been absolutely wild. The last couple of streams, we've had over 1,000 of you guys live while we were discussing the topics. Still hundreds, and we're just shooting the shit on the super chats. So it's been wild, man. You guys have been fucking electric in the chat. The super chat's off the wall. The channel's been fucking just on fire, man. So John Vermetti, I don't know if you've been in here the last several lives, but first time I'm noticing you in a while, and it's good to have you up in here. John says, you're absolutely right, BC. Punk literally screwed MJF's return. Probably did it on purpose, though. Much love and respect to you from Quebec. Salud, brother. And that's how I know I haven't seen John Vermette in a while. I remember the Quebec. Showing that love and respect right over to Quebec, man. That's a proper salute. I wish I had some fucking Tim Hortons up in this bitch, John. But we're doing Dunkin' Donut fucking espresso coffee right now. John, I appreciate you, man. It's so good to see you back up in the chat. Appreciate the coffee, as always. And Savage 1024, the Punisher, with a 5-spot coffee, says Bryan Danielson should bring back the Yes movement because without it, he's basically nothing. Savage, he can be. He's so good, and he's got this raw ability to be able to believably carry any storyline you give him. But Tony just hasn't really given him any storyline we give a fuck about. Or very subtly, and then it burns out after just a couple weeks. It's very weird. I'm going to need more than this BCC shit. But I will say, Savage, that since the Yes movement, Bryan Danielson, he's never reached anywhere close to that that level. And I was hoping in AEW it would be different. He's collected way more W's than L's. That's the good thing. But just like AJ Styles in WWE, who's got way more W's than L's, if you ain't going to book them properly and they lose big L's, like Danielson to Jericho, Danielson to Mox, when you do that, man, you're going to look irrelevant in the minds and the eyes of a lot of your fans. And that's why AJ Styles is pretty much irrelevant today. And Bryan Danielson is not that far off. Savage 1024, the Punisher. So much respect. Back over to you, brother. I appreciate all the coffees. I got everybody in that whole first round, man. So I don't know if there was more. Let me refresh this, man. Sasha, please take it up 3 and stay on 4, please, so I can see it a little better. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about, Sasha. Thank you. Oh, shit. There was a lot more. Dude, there's a whole nother round, too. All right, listen. All right, hey, there's still fucking 100 of you guys up in here, man. I still have half of this coffee, and this one is turning into an iced coffee. I'm going to stay live, and we're going to get to every fucking one of my super chatters, man. So anybody that wants to fucking stick around, let's keep rocking, bro. Fuck it. Let's start off with my boy JR9 Gaming, my right-hand man on the channel. Salute, brother. I don't have to tell you, it's always good seeing you up in here, bro. It should have been MJF versus Mox for the title at Grand Slam as MJF won a title shot via casino ladder match. I see MJF cashing the chip in during the tourney final. Yeah, that looks to be where they're headed. Mox, so you don't have Mox getting it back. I kind of don't blame you, JR9, because it just seems at that point like Mox is just a filler for whenever CM Punk cannot make dates. As much as I want to see that title on Mox, he should have never lost it in Chicago. I don't give a fuck where they're at. Mox had too much momentum. Mox was too fucking good. And I just feel like if he gets it back, it's a slap in the face of Mox. So I think MJF is that guy. JR9, wouldn't you agree, though? JR9, weren't you hoping that when MJF came back, it was an awesome, fun story road to the title? A little bit of anti-authority, and a storyline that we could all sink our teeth into, and then culminating with a big title run. I know he would be perceived kind of like a face by the end of it, but so many people already love the motherfucker, like BC and so many of you guys. I was hoping for more. You guys know how high I am on MJF. I think he's one of the best wrestlers in the world, not just because of talent or skill, but because he checks off every other box that a pro wrestler needs. And I feel like this is falling flat, and all of a sudden in 2 weeks, he just already wins the title. Yeah, JR9, more creativity should have gone into it. That's what I'm saying, JR9. And I think a lot of it had to do with Punk derailing the headlines from him. Punk absolutely destroyed his return by overshadowing it 1,000,000%. And then from there, I think some plans changed, and here we are, man. And I think you're right. I think in 2 weeks, my boy MJF wins the title. So half of me is like, yeah, man, he did it. And the other half of me is like, damn, that's anticlimactic. I mean, the guy just got back 2 weeks ago, right? That's what we're going to be saying in 2 weeks. He just got back 2 weeks ago. It was overshadowed by Punk. Didn't even make the top headline. And here we are, and he's already won the title. He's already had the culminating moment. We don't need to see MJF in that road against the Authority and claiming the title from Tony Khan, you know? It's sad that it's even gotten to this point, JR9, but you're exactly right. And I do agree. Fuck the tournament shit. If you're going by rankings or just what's right, JR, you're exactly right. JR9, MJF won the casino fucking battle royal, so he automatically gets the shot, you would think. And Mox was your fucking interim champion. Got defeated by the dude, Punk. But he would be the first guy, right? So you're just going to have them run that match. But no, everything's got to be a fucking tournament in this company. Salute, brother. JR9 talking sense like always. Ashley Steggles is right back to back with JR9 too, man. Both at the Clash this past Saturday, by the way. So I think that's kind of awesome. Ashley Steggles coming in with that $8.99. It's been nearly a week since Clash, and I still haven't got my voice back. That was honestly the best pay-per-view of 2022. Ashley, I bet you guys were raucous, bro. You guys were fun as fuck. BC did that live. You guys know that. Ashley, you know that. I did that whole event, 4 hours live watch along, live reaction, live review, the good, the bad, and the ugly. I lost my fucking voice for several hours afterwards. I tapped into my inner Mauro Ronaldo, bro. But you guys were so electric that we felt that shit. You know, we got energized from you guys. So I appreciate every single one of you, 60,000 plus, JR9, Ashley included. And as far as being one of the best pay-per-views of 2022, you saw the board, man. It was 9-0-0. There was none in the bad column, bro. So, Ashley, I can't say I disagree at all, bro. Always good seeing you up in here. Just like a couple of my look at this, the next 3 in a row, dude. My tried and true. 4, man. Christopher Blackshear, Pimp Jesus, Prime Killer, and Smurfy Tunes. Oh, my tried and trues. Christopher Blackshear with a 199 says TK has a lot to clean up. R.I.P. Queen Elizabeth II. TK has a lot of cleaning up to do. Last night was the beginning of it. He put on his big boy pants. He delivered a pretty decent to even good show, and that's gonna have to keep going, man. You don't need EVPs for that shit, and you certainly don't need this CM Punk, because at this point they're just causing more trouble than they are helping you. And if you're not part of the solution, you're only part of the problem. As far as Queen Elizabeth II, Smurfy Tunes with a 2 spot also backs up Christopher Blackshear's comment saying RIP to the Queen Elizabeth II. At first I thought you guys were talking about Miss Elizabeth, but she's already passed away, unfortunately, many years ago. Much love to Miss Elizabeth, Randy Savage, and Miss Elizabeth back in those days, man. She was the original queen to BC. I got to give props up there to Miss Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth, I'm not familiar with. I got to be honest with you. I thought we already... Who passed away in the car accident many years ago? Was that Princess Diana? Okay, so that was Princess Diana. Queen Elizabeth. Oh, that was the really old lady. Okay, I got you. I would always see her once in a while. I don't really know her that well, to be honest. Salute, man. Condolences to anybody from the UK Queen. Yeah. Anybody over in the UK, man. Sorry. Condolences, love, strength, prayers over to you guys, man. If she was a big staple mate, is that like the... What is that an equivalent to? Is that like a president here in the States? The Queen is that like the I really don't know how the UK does this shit, man. I don't know. We have a president in our fucking country, and it's never anybody that we all agree on. Every 4 years, half of us fucking pick somebody, and the other half is like, fuck you, man. 4 years, it's our turn. And then we flip-flop, and then they get upset, and then that's how we do it in this country, man. It's always a fucking war in this country. You guys have had the same fucking queen for 8,000 years, correct? So that's the equivalent to JR9. Prime Minister is the president equivalent. Okay. And she's just she's a dude, if you're fucking labeled a queen, I don't think anybody can trump that. Well, who the fuck is the king in the UK? Who's the king? King, I'm sure I've heard the name, guys. You just gotta just tell me, just refresh my dome piece. 70 years of the queen. Fucking A, bro. She did not want to die. She was like, fuck. She's like Mae Young. You guys remember Mae Young? She would not call it quits, bro. Oh, so the king passed away. So does that mean there's never going to be a king, or is that going to be Prince Charles? How does that go? There's never going to be a king again? Or Prince Charles is basically the king? The king to be is... Man, you guys in the UK, you have this whole fucking fairy tale shit. I kind of dig it. I'm picturing like a royal fucking castle that they walk into. That's your version of the White House. Fucking it's all rubies and sapphires and shit. I got a king, a queen, a prince, a princess. Fucking Mario's coming over in a Mario Kart, picking up the princess. King Koopa's trying to dive down from the top of the castle. It's fucking chaos. What happened? Oh, Sasha's saying I'm getting a little carried away. Anyway, my point is, man, salute to the queen, dude. Sad to hear for sure. We don't have anything kind of cool in the States. We just have a president, and again, half the country always hates him anyway, so I don't know. We never agree on the presidents here. We never agree on a lot here in the States. we're so fucked up, bro. I don't think we agree on a lot. So Christopher Blackshear, Smurfy Tunes, thanks for informing me. I'm sure I'm going to hear a lot about that over the next couple of days, up front especially. Pimp Jesus with a 2 spot says, what the fuck, Phil? What the fuck, Phil? Way to ruin everyone in one shoot. Pimp Jesus, he literally did, bro. Pimp Jesus, he literally did, man. I'm not even joking. Like, he absolutely, in 1 8-minute period, he leveled the entire fucking locker room. From EVPs to actual talent, it doesn't fucking matter. He leveled everybody. I mean, that's insane to even think about. Yes! I got it. Oh, we lost the super extra. Oh, no, I got it back. Pimp Jesus, in one shoot, 1 8-minute spot, man. He took everybody the fuck off, bro. Salute, Pimp Jesus. We talked all about it, though, for almost 2 fucking hours, so... I'm same as you, man. We just discussed it for 2 hours, and I'm still like, what the fuck just happened in this company? But again, controversy creates cash. That controversy, that turmoil is going to attract an audience because people love to witness turmoil. People love to look at a car crash. People love to view that shit. They're probably going to pull 1.2 in the ratings. Pimp Jesus, much love and respect. Prime Killer with a 5 spot. What up, Prime Killer? Do you see AEW going the way of 96 to 97 WWF or 99 to WCW's death in 2001? Prime Killer, I can't say yet until I see the next month of AEW. We know for a fact the company is in turmoil. That's going to actually attract a lot of viewers up front. That's the good news. I know, that sounds weird. There's some good news in turmoil. Can they keep those viewers? When the turmoil dies down, the suspensions are being levied and all the players are now out of AEW, and now it's business as usual. Can they keep the weeks of 1 million plus in viewership, or will, when this is said and done, do they dip back into the 900,000s? If they do, this is not a good sign for AEW. And Prime Killer, I'm going to say yes. Or at least not the same as 96, 97 WWF and the 2001-ish WCW, but like around that realm, bro. That's just facts. I mean, to have this happen, all of these eyeballs came over, and then you're right back to where you began in the 900,000s. You can't say that, bro. I think this episode was enough to attract nearly 1.2, or they should have. If they didn't even hit 1.1 on this real life shoot fucking story, then I don't know if they're ever going to hit 1.1 again. I think they at least played around with 1.2. But because you have all the news with the turmoil, MJF is finally going to speak. Everybody heard from the beginning of the show about the tournament and everything, so people are going to be a little curious up front. Prime Killer. So all my tried and trues right there up front, man. JR9 Gaming, Ashley, Christopher, Pimp Jesus, Prime Killer, and Smurfy Tunes. And we ain't even done, man. Takara Turner, 199. Takara Turner doesn't have any words needed. She just showing the love and the respect. So, dude, Takara, appreciate that. Right back to you. Let me give you a proper salute. Ed Rom as well. Ed Rom with a 5-spot coffee says Punk gets triggered easily, that he lashes out. His representative has carried over to his reputation has carried over to all 3 companies. Not looking good for him at all. Ed, that's exactly what I was saying, man. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to throw shade at all. It's for anybody. Anybody. These are words to live by. If you're upset at something, if you think there's issues or problems, ask yourself, is it the scenario, the situation, the placement of yourself, or is it just you? Are you the problem? Because if you're the problem, anywhere you go in the world, anywhere you move to, you're just bringing your own set of problems with you. The problems are just following you. And CM Punk, Phil Brooks, has never resolved his internal issues. So that's why you start seeing the same fucking thing everywhere he goes. A change of scenery, a new company, a new locker room, a new aura, a feel, that's not going to do shit if you are the same fucking person. You're exactly right, Ed Rom. Appreciate it, brother. Good seeing you up in here. Dante Jaron 23, 199. Dante motherfucking Jaron 23. What up, dude? Good seeing you up in here. How many champs has AEW had in the last 6 months? Well, I don't know about different, but flip-flopping and shit, interims, tournaments, it's been a fucking circus. Dante Jaron 23. Somebody in the chat, do you know? Dante Jaron is asking, in the last 6 months, we can even go 6 months to a year if you want, how many champions has there been? I mean, before Punk, let's count that. Then it went to Punk. Then Punk couldn't fucking wrestle, so Mox had to get it. Went back to Punk. Now it's going over to MJF, it looks like. But that hasn't happened yet. So it's about to be 5, right? It's 4, about to be 5. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Dante Jaron 23, it's a fucking circus, dude. Salute, brother. Reality check numero uno, 5 spot. Reality check numero uno says, I have to tune into Impact for the wrestling you're talking about. Is that where it's at now? They chill out on the flips and the dives. They slow it up. They use in-ring psychology. They have selling properly. If that's the case, maybe even BC has to tune into Impact Wrestling, because I missed that. That is professional wrestling. Reality check numero uno, as long as Josh Matthews is nowhere near the commentator's booth. Because if Josh Matthews is commentating, BC cannot watch. That fucking dude is like nails on a chalkboard, bro. Guys, before I keep going too, there's a few more. I wanted to give a salute, man. We're over 575 on those ups. We're legitimately about to tackle 600 live on a Thursday afternoon. I mean, that's how badass. Bad to the bone. You guys, man, you're about to rock 600 on the ups. I had to stop for a second, time out, and I had to sell that. I had to sell the shit out of those ups, man, and give you guys a pop, because that's fucking badass. Let's go to 600 and rock that shit. Thursday afternoon, a little ECW channel. I'm not supposed to be doing these numbers. We had over 1,000 while we were going over the hot topics earlier. Man, dude. Come on, bro. That's you guys just as much. That's why I say I appreciate the fuck out of you guys. You guys are the fucking numero uno one. How's that, reality check? See what I did there? Sheriff Rivers is up in here with a 5-spot coffee, off topic, but Queen Elizabeth died just minutes ago. Yeah, Sheriff Rivers, you guys are educating me a little bit more on the Queen. I wasn't sure exactly how everything sets up, but I know I've seen her face a million fucking times. She was always the face of stability. At least that's how the States looked at her, from what I know. So that's a big fucking hit. That's going to be a huge story for Justified Reasons going forward. So everybody over in the UK, again, much love over to you guys, man. Much strength. And yeah, that's going to be a big fucking change and blow for you guys. Sheriff Rivers. It's going to be a hot topic, man. Sriracha Boss. 5 spots. Sriracha Boss. What up, brother? Hold on, let me get it. A little brighter would be nice, Sasha. Totally fucking dim down. 5 spots. Sriracha Boss. By the way, Sriracha Boss, I haven't seen you up in the chat in a long time. What up? What the fuck? Sriracha Boss, thanks for joining in, man. Always good seeing you. 2 things. Number 1, BC has been a prophet about Punk's ego for years now. Number 2, Mox has that passion that wrestling needs right now. His promo got me amped. Sriracha Boss, number 1, as far as BC has been a prophet for Punk's ego for years now. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't like to even talk about that anymore, because it's been years now. We've grown. He came back to wrestling. Bygones be bygones. I just want to see Punk fucking happy about wrestling. Wrestling be better because of Punk. That's what I was hoping for. Unfortunately, the old Phil Brooks, the old CM Punk, reared his ugly head, and here we are. But yes, for years now, I've spotted this. There was something about Phil Brooks that was just rubbing everybody the wrong way and going into business for himself and just not being a team player. And this dude was just bad news, man. Just not good for pro wrestling backstage. Not bringing a good vibe. Some people like him. Some people will call him a friend. A lot of people wanted nothing to do with him. And you saw that in WWE. So many people speaking out. In AEW, what he calls, Punk himself calls it loose lips. A lot of people in AEW were just not feeling this dude. They were siding with the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, and so many others. Sriracha Boss, I was just going by what I saw from Phil Brooks and CM Punk. And when he left pro wrestling, I understand he was bitter. I understand the wedding day piece of paper, all that shit. I get it. But you can't just start shitting on fans and shit on the entire industry that made you. You can't do that. And that's what he was doing, just nonstop, acting like he was better than the industry, acting like the fans meant shit to. That's when I said, dude, that's enough. You're turning into a scumbag. You better cut that shit out. When he came back, bygones be bygones. I just wanted to call the wrestling that he was in, and I was mostly positive. And now, unfortunately, we have to talk about this bullshit. But Sriracha Boss, you were around when we just... Nothing's changed on the channel, Sriracha Boss. We just drop one fact after another still. We piss a lot of people off that can't handle truth. I get it. People cry. Bitch boy Braden. Fuck you, Beasley. Nah, Beasley. Shut up, man. Beasley, I'm unsubbing, man. I don't want to hear it. Dude, bro, get the... I'm not an airport. You don't got to announce your departure. Get the fuck out. Let me give you an extra boot in the ass. Get you out fucking quicker. If you can't handle truth, you shouldn't be here. We don't sugarcoat shit on this channel. We don't bullshit on this channel. We go full throttle to the most amplified of fucking measures. Sriracha Boss, you've known that for years, and it's good to have you fucking back up in here. And number two, you're exactly right. Mox has the passion that I have not seen in years in pro wrestling. And on top of that, Sriracha Boss, Mox is fucking with momentum I haven't seen in years. His confidence. You guys see the way he walks around the ring? His promo's so flawless. When he's wrestling, it just seems like this guy is doing what he loves, and there's no place in the world he'd rather be. It like rivals being with his wife and his kid. Obviously, they come first, but it's almost like he's wrestling so pristinely that the wife and kid would come second. Again, that's not true, but it's almost like wrestling is just, when he's wrestling, there's nothing else in the fucking world. Mox should have never lost that championship. I don't give a fuck, or unified Punk. I don't give a fuck if it's Punk. I don't give a fuck if it's Chicago. Mox was the fucking guy for the last 2 months. And it was so tough to see him lose that match Sunday night. Sriracha Boss, not just much love and respect, and good to see you up in here, but you're 1,000,000,000% correct. That was the whole second round, man. Wow, you guys are fucking rocking. Was that it? Did I get everybody now? Oh, no. There's still another one. Hold on. Hollywood guy. 5 spot. Hollywood guy. Another fucking... I haven't seen you in a minute, Hollywood guy. What's up, brother? BC, was the stripping of the belts needed, or was it too much? Well, yeah, absolutely, Hollywood guy. He needed to do something big to show everybody he's in control. What are you going to do? Another interim champion? I mean, is Punk really... Are we going to wait 9 months now? At least this injury was just 1 to 2 months, something like that. 3 tops. I forgot what it was. But he's going to be... This is surgery. He either already had it, is the latest report, or he's going to have it in the next 48 hours. So are you telling me that we wait 9 months for an interim title holder? And after that 9 months, isn't that when the suspension should kick in? It shouldn't be before that, because then he's not really serving a suspension because he's rehabbing his injury. So he's making off like a bandit. If Tony Khan wants to send a message and prove a point, the suspension needs to start after he comes back and is cleared to compete. If he comes back to AEW, you know what, guys? Honestly, that could be the end of CM Punk in AEW. I don't even see how he comes back, why he would want to. Because by the time he comes back, all the EVPs are EVPs once again. Everything that Punk couldn't stand about AEW is still going to be there. They're just going to be even more of a cohesive unit because he's been gone for the better part of a year. So I don't see how anybody thinks that Punk coming back is going to fucking help Punk or the company. I mean, I don't see any scenario that this benefits anybody involved. Hollywood guy, I honestly think stripping the titles was the best, most bold move Tony Khan could have made. And B, I think it's the only move he should have made. Hollywood guy. I appreciate that, dude. Guys, I think I got everybody. If I missed anyone, because there were so fucking many, man. I wanted to keep this around 1 hour. You guys made it fucking 2 hours plus, and I fucking loved every minute of it, because when you guys get amplified, BC's amplified, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. And these streams come to life. So I appreciate that. If I didn't get anybody, I will get it later on a separate list, and you guys will get a shout out after. Just like any super thankers later, I will give you guys a shout out in the next stream or video. Before I take off, I got to give a shout out over to Pile Driver Finisher, who just, guys, I saw that thing light up in blue, motherfucker. Pile Driver Finisher, one of my tried and trues. Another coffee by Pile Driver. Let me give you a salute before I read that, dude. Oh, hold on. No. He's just showing some respect, man. Pile Driver says, thank you, BC. Top guy out. Top guys out. Pile Driver, salute, dude. Pile Driver, I'll be dropping that line in just a second. I promise you, bro. Pile Driver Finisher. Guys, thank you so much, honestly. What a stream. I'm man, I can't say this enough. The fact that you guys can't wait to talk pro wrestling, especially when it's a big story with BC, it's just so fucking humbling. It's so appreciated. And I hope that I not only entertain you, but that I make you think. This is wild, man. There's no, I don't want to over embellish it. I'm not trying to over exaggerate, over dramatize it. This is wild. And while there's always been fighting in locker rooms in pro wrestling since wrestling's inception, and there always should be, that means there's passion involved. What happened in this fight and how we got here to this brawl, this is childish shit. And this happened because Tony Khan refused to run a wrestling company as an owner. And he let people walk over him. If Punk ever comes back, and even the EVPs, I hope Tony Khan has learned a valuable lesson. Nobody will ever walk on me again. I hope that's what Tony Khan has learned. Because you know what? Without the EVPs last night, without CM Punk, that was one of the best AEW Dynamites that I've seen in a fucking long time. That's the fucking truth. I just saw a super pop up. I'm going to make sure I get to you. Don't you worry. Hold on, please. Nope, I got it. That's my fault, Sasha. No, you're good. I got you. Hold on. I'm on a delay, but I got it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Takara Turner, 199. Takara's going to end this shit with that super. CM Punk is truly a punk. Man, sometimes it fits. I won't speak on that. I'm just speaking on the details that we have. Takara Turner's ending this with maybe what sums it all up. CM Punk is truly a punk. A lot of you guys feel like this was unnecessary, and this dude absolutely helped to tarnish AEW. Again, I'm gonna end this with like this. It just seems to BC like once Punk got to the company and the honeymoon phase was over a couple months later, is when AEW's locker room started to break at the cracks. EVPs wanted to leave like Punk. EVPs were not getting along with Punk. They started doing their own thing. It was a divided locker room. Turmoil was starting to be heard. People not happy with their booking. Loose lips. People were going to fucking journalists. It seems like CM Punk was the common denominator. He was the lethal dose of poison sent into AEW and destroyed the locker room. A locker room that was pretty cohesive before Phil Brooks got there. I'm just saying that's what it looks like to BC. And that's sad. That's truly sad. If Punk ever comes back to AEW, I truly hope, I really do truly hope that he brings a different attitude and that AEW can benefit. Tony Khan has a lot of talking to do with these dudes before they ever come back. And that's the EVPs as well, much, man. Absolutely same with them. So, yeah, I'm not giving them a pass, guys. Like the EVPs did nothing, right? Bucks, Omega, they did nothing. I'm not giving them a pass. Tony Khan has to step the fuck up. Guys, 600, we just hit it. Let's go to 700. What do you say? Fuck it, man. We've been rocking out for over 12. Let's go to 700 on those ups. Much love, guys. I'm out. That's what I got for you guys. What a wild stream. What a wild... Oh, Eddie Brash, man. I missed Eddie Brash, 279. Khan should scrap the EVP role completely. Absolutely, Eddie. I agree, bro. Eddie Brash, I completely agree. Scrap that shit. EVPs are not fucking worth it. They don't even do as much as you think. Even Tony Khan had to find words to describe what they even do at a press conference several months ago. Tony Khan doesn't even know what the fuck they do. That tells you EVPs are not fucking warranted and they're just causing trouble, bro. And you add in an ingredient like CM Punk, and this was bound to fucking happen. Takara Turner, Eddie Brash, Hollywood guy, pile driver finisher. My last supers there. I appreciate it. Again, if I missed anybody, I have to get you guys in the next stream because I'm already way over my fucking time. I'm late to my next appearance. BC's got to rock out. I know you guys got shit to do. Much love to you guys, man. Demonte, fucking Santivia, Smurfy, Shabazz, Fury, Carlos, Ray, Pimp Jesus, Dead Fred, Renee G, The Wisdom of Chargrin, James Shrimp Fajitas, Jared9 Gaming, Gregory, Prime Killer, Jimmy Fingers 19, Savage, Lemon, Woo, Sir Charles, Sriracha, all my fucking super chats, every single one of you that smashed that up on our way to 700. What a fucking afternoon. What a wild AEW. We'll see if they can click 1.2 in the ratings. Till next time, Top Guy and I'm fucking out. The Amplified Man saying, think, be, live, amplified always. Until next time, Sasha. Chat, you know what Sasha's got to do, right? Real quick. Sasha's got a smile on her face. She knows what you guys are about to say. Sir Charles knows. Sir Charles knows. Prime Killer knows. Lemon knows. James Shrimp Fajita knows. Dead Fred knows. Jared9 Gaming knows. Melvin knows. Gregory knows. Come on, brah. Come on, brah. Come on, brah. Oh, now all you guys know, bro. I can't even keep up. Hold on. All right. Sasha, you gotta hit my motherfucking music. Hit that music, Sasha. Top Guy, I'm out. Check you guys till next time. Thank you. What a fucking stream. We rock this bitch. Who runs this shit? BC runs this shit. Who run this shit? The Amp Unit run this shit. Check you.